Tell me about the United States Rocket Academy.
Well, the United States Rocket Academy is an educational organization dedicated to promoting the use of space for military, scientific, and commercial purposes through educational means. Our primary project at the moment is Citizens in Space. We're promoting the development of citizen science projects that take advantage of the new reusable suborbital vehicles that are now being developed. We're working with companies such as X-Corp Aerospace, and we'll be offering opportunities for citizens to fly experiments on these vehicles as citizen scientists, and also to fly as payload operators, citizen space explorers. We initially have acquired a contract for 10 suborbital flights with X-Corp Aerospace, which, to the best of my knowledge, is the largest single bulk purchase of suborbital flights to date. So we'll have 10 citizen astronauts flying as payload operators. The Lynx also has an in-cockpit payload box which sits behind the pilot's seat, as well as 2 aft-cowling experiment ports. So we expect we'll probably be carrying between 10 and 12 small experiments on each flight. So what we're looking for are 10 citizens to fly in space as citizen space explorers, plus 100 to 120 citizen science payloads.
Are you guys looking for volunteers right now to be the citizens in space?
We are. Currently, we have 3 Pathfinder astronaut candidates in training. We'll be recruiting an additional 7. We're in the process right now of forming teams which are going to be developing our experiments and improving our training curriculum, and we'll be recruiting the new Pathfinder candidates from those teams.
Now, what is your involvement in the project?
I'm the project manager for Citizens in Space, as well as the chairman of the United States Rocket Academy.
So what would you say is the most important thing that you would want to tell people right now? What is it that they need to know right now about the Citizens in Space program?
Well, Citizens in Space was originally created to fly large numbers of teachers on suborbital vehicles. The project was known as Teachers in Space, and we had a lot of very positive feedback. We also had people bringing some questions to us. People wanted to know what was it these teachers were going to be doing during the flight. And we came to the realization that we needed to be giving teachers more than just a ride. Teachers needed to have real productive experiments that they could work on during the flights. We also had a lot of people coming up to us and saying, I'm not actually a classroom teacher, I'm a museum educator, or I work in some other capacity. How do I get involved in this program? So what we've done now is to expand the program. We still want to fly large numbers of American teachers in space. We want to put 1,000 astronaut teachers into American schools. But we also are opening the program up to not only teachers, but to university students, to informal educators, museum professionals, to the backyard hobbyist, to the whole citizen science maker community. And we want to create a very broad, inclusive program that allows all sorts of people to have the opportunity to fly in space or simply to develop experiments that they want to fly in space.
Now, I've seen that in the payload bay that the XO telescope would be resting in, that there could also be a possibility of having a small rocket to deliver a CubeSat or possibly a nanosat all the way to orbit. Are you guys involved with that project at all?
That's not something we're looking at the present time. The problem there is, it's $100,000 for a Lynx flight, but the upper stage is going to be significantly more than that. So we're very great fans of nanosats and CubeSats, and we hope that people will fly a lot of them in the future, but the funding levels for that at the moment are more than we have available in our budget. We hope that will come down eventually. The things like the Lynx, things like projects like nano launch. They're working on getting the costs down, but there's still a couple more steps that need to be done before it gets to be at the level where it's routine for the amateur.
So what are the sort of future projects? Is the Lynx the only vehicle that you would want to fly with, or is there possibilities to fly on the Spaceship Two, or with Armadillo or Maston Aerospace?
We look forward to flying on a wide variety of suborbital vehicles. At the moment, we have an initial purchase of 10 flights with X-Corps Aerospace, but that's only our first stage. We expect to be acquiring additional contracts for more flights with X-Corps and other companies in the future.